Hi guys, Martin here, and as promised, here's a look at my original miniatures from back in the early 90s. I make no apologies for the paint on these guys. I've looked at them and I think, well, I was 10 to 13 years old. I think I did a good job. Bear in mind what was available to us back then as well, technique wise and everything, and especially financially wise, what I could afford. So, old school Games Workshop case. You'll remember these guys with the egg foam trays inside. And then we open it up, and they're a little bit of a mess because I've been playing around with them. And that's what we're going to have a look at. So I'm going to move it away from the camera, and I'm going to go back into it. What I did find amusing was that underneath the foam here, the old battle lists and etc. My old army lists, I can't believe I've still got those. As I said in my Q&A video, if you watched all or part of that, then you'll know that I mentioned a lot of my stuff. My ex-wife, she says lost. She doesn't know what happened to them, but some's there and some's not. So take what you will from that, I suppose, guys. Ex-wives, we all love them. Right, so just going to fix that paper. Just have to ignore this leg here. Can't do much about it. So, first off, one of my favourite minis, retro minis, got to be this guy. This is a juggernaut of Khorne. I mean, look how static the pose is on this guy. He's going out to the side. I've been looking through these, and no matter how often I look through them, I always think how far we've progressed. It's amazing. The big happy skull on his shoulder pad. Skulls everywhere. And look how big the grin is on this guy's face. He's like a squig in his head. Yeah, big chunky transfer on the bum. Just a hilariously funny model. So I'm jumping up the way. Next up, another big one. I've just knocked. You know what? Over 20 years that's been sat on there, and I've just knocked it. I'll glue that before I let go. That was just a skeleton from one of the undead boxes that I put on there. But this is a beast of Nurgle. How cool is he? That skeleton's gonna have to just come off for a minute. How? There you go. How cool a model is that? These are all lead minis, so they weigh a ton as well in the case. Which is basically a big slug with a load of antenna. That's fantastic. Put the skeleton back over there and we'll glue him on later. Next big one. Now, this is poignant that I should be releasing this at this point, because on pre-order has just gone the new Bloodthirster, and there have been a few over the time. But what about this one? The size of him, he's tiny. If I get a normal scale Marine, this is an old Marine, but look how big a Marine is next to him. Bloodthirster's tiny. You just wouldn't even be intimidated by him now. Yeah, he was absolutely lethal if you had him in games back then. I've even obviously tried to do some highlighting back then. Standard goblin green base with a bit of sand. That's all it ever was. Yeah, again, it's quite cartoony. It's not nowhere near as realistic and frightening looking as some of the minis today. Next up, we've got, should be 3. Oh, I could only see 2 of them. Should have been 3 of these guys. Fleshhounds of Khorne. So they're both the same mini. Well, bar the head, to be fair, so get that focus. There it is. Yeah. And the old Fleshhounds, they're just good looking models. 1, 2, 3. Yes, I can count. 4. Old school Terminators on 25mm round bases. very static pose to them. So there's your guy with your assault cannon. Look how small they are. Again, this is the same size as a current Marine. The Marine is actually as big as a Terminator. So how much the size has crept up over the years. Again, big huge happy skull. His knee pad there. The design's more or less the same, they've just got bigger. Again, bright red armour, bright gold etching because they were corn, and goblin green. And this amused me. Look at his sword. I've obviously, back then, I've tried to do some sort of power sword flame effect. I'll be honest, 20 years on, 25 years on, that's not all that bad. Yeah, it's 25 years nearly now. Again, they're just old school. Two normal guys, very static poses with these guys, and they're just so small. And then another one who's, for whatever reason, not on his base, he's got a chain fist though. Focus. Oh. Anyway, there you go, it's focused. Maybe it doesn't need my hand behind it. So that's my Terminator squad. Some plague bearers. Some old plague bearers. Thinking about the focus. There you go. I actually still quite like these ones. Again, they're a bit more cartoony than the current ones, but I just think they're quite cool. There's a load of them. They're all more or less the same though. There's more in there. We've then got Plague Marines, which look at those. They were so iconic back in the day. All the pipes ran. There's no sort of particularly demonic look to them. Backpacks aren't on them. I don't know where they are. Who knows why I painted the feet the colour I painted them. But again, it's good to have a bit of nostalgia. There's another one to go with him, and another one, and another one. No captain for that unit though, funnily enough. Some more plague bearers to go with those boys. There's another one too. So that means there must be another one. Nope, just the 4 plague bearers. Not quite as old as this lot. I think what happened was in about 2004, maybe 5. I had a shop on eBay where we're selling a lot of old 80s toys. For one reason or another, I ended up going into Games Workshop and ended up thinking, oh, I could get back into this. And I remember buying a big metal demon prince and Abaddon. That's obviously the old Abaddon model. I painted him back in 2005 with my old Games Workshop paints and no practice, no knowledge. Hence why he's paint's a bit thick. But that's still the same model today, although I believe he's fine cast now. What else have I got? Right, so we've got World Eaters. Look at them compared to today's World Eaters. They're just, come on, focus. That's the one. Look at them. There is something fantastic. I mean, the plume on his head. There's something fantastic about these old minis, but then there is also something far too cartoony. Those skulls, just literally, they look like something out of an 80s cartoon. Must be more of those. Should be 5 of everything, really, shouldn't there? There's always 5-man squads. There's another 2. Look at him, with his skull in between his head. Love it. Oh, and there's number 5. Then there's these guys who I'd be tempted to still run today. These are one of the few units where I think, oh, I still really like them. Oh, there's a flamer. Flamer Terminator there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 of these. So they must have came in blisters of 3. Maybe that maybe that was right. Oh, there's my other plague bearer. He's even more cartoony than the others. What's these guys? These are assault marines. How cool are they? One leg and one arm unarmoured, a skull for a head. And yes, they're still quite cartoony, but as far as the early 90s figures go, then I actually think these were quite cool. They're a bit more dynamic as well. I think these were the first of the minis to come through with more dynamicism, or whatever that word is, to go through. Where does that take us into now? Right, so sorcerers. So we've got a Zeech sorcerer on a flying disc. Come on, let's get some focus, please. Oh, there you go. Oh, it keeps jumping in and out. Oh. Can't decide what it wants to do with that focus, can it? It's in and out, but it's in long enough that you can see it. I'm actually, as well, looking back, because didn't I say I painted these when I was, this one probably was when I was about 12. That's not bad highlighting, considering when it was that I did it. The flying disc has snapped from underneath it, but I have actually still got a box full of them. There's then a Slaanesh sorcerer. Don't quite know what Slaanesh about it, maybe just the colours, but definitely I remember it being a Slaanesh sorcerer. Yeah, still quite a cool model. And then the next sorcerer, again, is one model that I would potentially bring forward for one of my Nurgle sorcerers. I think this is such a cool model. Look at him. I really, really like that model. And the paint job's not too bad on him either, considering when he was done. So that's it for the main Marines. There is this guy who I might actually strip this guy and repaint him, just because he just fits with me. You can't get these anymore. These are the old Noise Marines. Look at that, with a big electric guitar. It's proper rock and roll, that man. Not like my camera, which won't focus. That's not rock and roll. How cool is he? Big 80s rock hair. Just, I think that's crazy. Yeah, I might rebase and repaint him actually. Don't know. Part of me wants to, because I could not use him, but I could display him now. Then the other side of me thinks, no, this is what I did when I was a kid. I should keep it the way it is. There's some backpacks and stuff in there, and then there's these guys. So these are wood elves, metal wood elves. Now I believe I have these because I used them in advanced hero quests. They might not be wood elves. Somebody might tell me otherwise, but I've got them. I think that they were wood elves. Again, considering it doesn't have masking tape or anything, that's not too bad a job at quartering. These are very, very early painted. These were very much done with non-GW paints when I was 10. At the very eldest, I was 11. Come on. Focus. There we go, it's a bit better. You can see the pencil lines on his shield that I've actually drawn on to get that pattern. Yeah, they've definitely got elven ears, which is why I'm thinking they were wood elves. But who knows? But I used them for advanced hero quests, that's all I remember. This is my elven hero. He had two swords, and a shield on his back. He was rocking it, man. He was, as my daughter now says, so much to my wife's dismay, he was getting it on like Donkey Kong. And the ones that I touched on briefly in the video, this was my Golden Demon entry at 10, 11 years of age. Let's see if we can get that to focus. It's not the best paint job in the world, but for a 10-year-old, it's quite good. Banner's a bit naff, to be fair, but what did we know back then? Everything was different. My Minotaur, love that model. You do. Every time I'm looking at these, I'm thinking, I could do so much more with these now, but I just don't want to touch. I just don't want to touch the work that I did all that time ago. And then this guy, I don't even know where his shield is. Come on, please focus. There you go. Bit of blood splatter on his chest, his axe at the side, just showing off in sheer rage. But more importantly than anything, for a 10-year-old now, can we get this to focus? Come on, please. Oh, it's thinking about it. I want you to see the eyes. I'm impressed. I don't think I can do eyes this well now. It's just not going to show them, is it? No, the camera's just not helping pick them up. But they're not fantastic, but for the age of me, I'm impressed with how good the eyes were. And that's it, guys. So, a bit wrong. I thought it was going to be a quick video. We've still turned into just shy of 20 minutes, but that's what's left of my retro army. There is a few other bits in the loft. There's my old first edition fantasy set, my old second edition 40k set, but people have seen them a million times, surely. And then there's literally one or two Skaven models that got upstairs. Everything else has gone missing. A lot of Chaos stuff's gone missing as well. I had more than this, but yeah, used to really enjoy it, and that's just an insight back to the day. Throwback Thursday, I suppose that's what that should be called, isn't it? Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.